Hello everyone, my name is Syazwan Hazim and today I'll be doing a book review about the book I bought, which is How to Think Like Stephen Hawking, which is written by Daniel Smith. In this video, I'll be talking about the introduction about the author, the information about the book summary, and finally my opinion about the book. In case you are wondering, I got this biography about the author from Google. Daniel Smith is a non-fiction author and editor who has written across a range of subjects, including politics, economics, and social history. He is the author of the Little Book of Big Ideas, 150 Concepts and Breakthroughs That Transform History, and the How to Think Like series for Michael O'Mara Books, which has been published in 20 languages and sold over 450,000 copies worldwide. He is also a longtime contributor to the Statesman's Yearbook, the geopolitical guide to the world that celebrated its 150th anniversary in 2013. He lives in London with his wife and 2 children. As you can see on the left side of the slide, this is the picture of Daniel Smith himself. Next, we are going to talk about the introduction of the book. How to Think Like Stephen Hawking was published on the May of 2016. It is a non-fiction novel that is written by Daniel Smith himself, and it contains 205 pages. Moving on to the synopsis, unparalleled access to one of the most brilliant thinkers in history, which is Stephen Hawking, unquestionably the most well-known scientist in the world and the face of physics for the past 50 years, is exceptional for a variety of reasons. Not least of all because he has persisted in trying to accomplish so much despite being constrained by a crippling sickness. He has unequivocally shown that no matter your physical condition, you can accomplish anything if you set your mind to it. The book How to Think Like Stephen Hawking explores the main drives, aspirations, and ideologies that have made Hawking one of the most enduring minds in history. With the help of quotes and passages by and about him, you may learn to think like the man who asserts he can think in 11 dimensions by studying how he faced immense difficulties, battled his demons as well as his critics, and looked back to the beginnings of the world. This is the book summary that I include, which has the beginning, the middle, and lastly, the end. You can pause the video to read the summary that I wrote or simply just proceed throughout the video. Some of you may ask yourselves, how would you think like Stephen Hawking? Well, I listed some points that I got from websites and also from the book itself. IQ is not a measure of intelligence. The level of effort you are willing to put out and the awareness and acuity to see the things that are changing are more indicative of intelligence than the intelligence you were born with. At his Oxford University graduation, Hawking remarked that intelligence is the capacity to adapt to change. Recognize your ignorance. The adage, the more you know, the more you realize how little you know, has been repeated countless times. The biggest opponent knowledge in the worlds of Hawking's is not ignorance but the illusion of knowledge. Why mistakes matter? Hawking never held the notion that he was in any way flawless. Instead, he valued the value of defects. When someone next criticizes you for a mistake, tell him it might actually be a positive thing, because without flaws, neither I nor you would be here. Intellectual propaganda is dumb. According to Piers Morgan in an interview, the general population considers Hawking to be the smartest person on the planet. If not, who does he believe does, he questioned Hawking. I never would assert this. Those who exaggerate their intelligence are losers. Be inquiring. Hawking was nothing if not an advocate of self-belief and an insatiable curiosity. At the Sydney Opera House, he said, "Remember to look up at the stars and not down at your feet. Try to make sense of what you see and wonder about what makes the universe exist. Be curious, and however difficult life may seem, there's always something you can do and succeed at." Never believe the course of your life is predestined. My expectations were reduced to 0 when I turned 21. Everything since then has been a bonus, he said in an interview with the New York Times. Be persistent. What Hawking overcame and what he went on to accomplish is beyond extraordinary and completely inspiring. His refusal to give up his intellectual pursuits in spite of his condition is the personification of persistence. However difficult life may seem, there is always something you can do and succeed at. It matters that you don't just give up. He said, "Never think that your life's path is predetermined. Never underestimate yourself. I have always tried to overcome the limitations of my condition and lead as full a life as possible. I have traveled the world from the Antarctic to zero gravity," Hawking told the New York Times. Be grateful. Hawking never took anything for granted and never felt the fate of his own life or of our universe was anyone's responsibility but his own and mankind's, and felt grateful for his life and the opportunities he had to study the cosmos. No one created the universe and no one directs our fate. This leads to a profound realization that there is probably no heaven and no afterlife either. We have this one life to appreciate the grand design of the universe, and for that, I am extremely grateful. Lastly, I'm going to state my opinions about the book. First, people who pursue their dreams to be an engineer like myself will love to read this book because Stephen Hawking himself loved physics as a whole and also studied about the black hole and the universe. He is one of the geniuses that roam in our world, which makes me inspired to be like him and also made me interested in studying about black holes. This book made me realize that although Stephen Hawking is disabled from the disease, he still didn't give up into studying and obtaining more knowledge to expand his mind and thought. This encourages me to work hard and not procrastinate when I'm given homework and also projects. It is a very inspirational book because the book tells you about Stephen Hawking's background and also his achievements throughout the years when he was still alive. My first thought on this book is that I will never have fun when reading this book, but I was wrong. This book made me realize how we must value knowledge in our life. My point of view in learning and obtaining knowledge will eventually change to even greater heights. And also, I rarely read non-fiction books, but this book I definitely recommend for those who take science, especially physics, which includes myself, as their main subject that they took because this book is highly inspiring for young physicists and also engineers. That is all for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed my book review on how to think like Stephen Hawking and consider subscribing to this channel. Thank you for watching and bye!